everyone. My name is Leslie Fontenot. I am the Senior Marketing and Operations Director for Black Health Matters. I'm going to give us a few minutes. I'll give us maybe about a minute to allow others to join us. This session is going to be on preventative health care, and we'll also have a cooking demonstration. So I'll just give us maybe another 45 seconds. And while we're waiting, I just want to share with you that our sponsor for this segment is Janssen, Vertex, Kazar, Novo Nordisk, and Retrophin. You can actually visit many of our vendors and sponsors in the exhibit hall, where you'll be able to visit the booths. You can also view their information. If you click on in the lobby their logos, you'll be able to be directed to their website. And please make sure to visit the exhibit hall, the networking area, where you can chat with others. And just so that you know, this presentation will also be up for about 30 days beginning Monday, along with all of the other presentations that you'll see today. So you can actually come back, view, share, all of this great information. So we look like we're having a large group coming in now, so we'll get started maybe in another couple of seconds here. And thanks again for joining us. Okay, I will get started. Again, my name is Leslie Fontenot. I'm Senior Marketing and Operations Director for Black Health Matters. I want to welcome you all. Black Health Matters, now your family and friends. This session will be on preventative health care, and we'll have a cooking demonstration from Dr. Lauren Powell. So culinary medicine is aimed at helping people reach good personal medical decisions about accessing and eating high quality meals that help prevent and treat disease and restore well-being. A practical discipline, culinary medicine is unconcerned with the hypothetical case and instead concerned with the patient in immediate need who asks, what do I eat for my condition? So today we have Dr. Lauren Powell, the culinary doctor. Dr. Powell is a board-certified family medicine physician and culinary medicine specialist on a mission to end generational health issues in the African American community. She makes healthy eating accessible and enjoyable for all through her social media quick tips, online cooking school, and debut book, Food Essentials for the Busy Professional. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for being here, Dr. Powell. You're just wonderful what you do in the community, and I want everyone to give her a warm welcome. And we'll be available to take questions and answers after her session. Thanks again.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's a Saturday, and anytime anyone wants to kind of hang out and talk about food, I'm all for it. So like she said, my name is Dr. Lauren Powell. I am a board certified family medicine physician. I'm also known as a culinary doctor. And that's because I believe that food is the most powerful drug that we have. I believe that it has the power to prevent and cure disease. And I'm particularly focused on the African American community, where we have a lot of food related diseases. So I thought we could talk today, and I thought that I could do a cooking demo and teach you how to make a dish. And I really was having a hard time figuring out what I wanted to make. Like, I wanted it to be really, really good. I wanted it to be simple, and I wanted it to be something that I felt like people would go home and try. So I decided to make a spaghetti, right? Because everybody respects spaghetti, right? I think everybody respects it. I think it's like tacos, like everybody likes it. So a question I'm often asked in my office is, Dr. Powell, should I become vegan? Should I become a vegetarian? And my answer is always, why don't you just start putting more vegetables in the food that you already eat? That's a simple place to start. So before you say, I'm going to eliminate all meat from your diet, let's start putting more vegetables into the food that we already eat. So that's what this dish is going to show you today. I'm going to show you how to take a classic dish, spaghetti, and make it super nutritious. So I hope you guys are down for the ride. So how it's going to work is I'm going to go over all the ingredients that I'm using. I want you guys to write this down. I want you to write this down because I want you to make this. I want you to make it. I want you to post on social media, and I want you to tag me at Dr. Lauren Powell on Instagram and on Facebook, and I want to see your rendition, okay? So I'm going to give you 15 seconds to go get your notepads and your pen just in case you weren't ready. I am going to go ahead and preheat the oven. You guys ready? All right. So I believe that food should serve our body a purpose, right? It should serve our body a purpose. It shouldn't be you just eat something because it's good. I mean, of course we want our food to be good, but it should serve our body a purpose. For instance, donuts, right? Donuts are delicious. We eat them, you know, and we're satisfied for like 13 seconds, but it really doesn't serve our body a purpose. Donuts are super high in sugar. They're super processed. Our blood sugar immediately goes up, and it's just not good for us, okay? So we want to put things in our body that serve a purpose. So let's talk about these food servicing things that we're going to be having in our recipe. So first I want to talk about our noodles, okay? Make sure you guys can see this. So these noodles are made from chickpeas. So what does that mean? That means this company takes chickpeas, they grind them up, and they make a powder out of them, and then they form noodles. Why is that good? So traditional noodles made out of flour, white flour, wheat flour, sugar, that's flour that gets turned into sugar. And we know sugar is not great for our body. Additionally, because these are made from beans, you're going to get protein and fiber. You don't get that in traditional noodles. So let me read this to you guys. Bonza noodles, these noodles have 23 grams of protein, and they have 8 grams of fiber and 48 grams of net carbs per serving. Versus the average traditional noodle has 13 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber, and 71 net carbs. So you're getting a bigger bang for your buck when you use legume-based noodles. So that's one thing. Okay. I'm going to add greens because I feel like anytime we eat a dish, there should be at least 3 colors. Spinach is great. It's very low calorie. It's full of our B vitamins. There's iron. There's folate. It's full of antioxidants. There's vitamin C. It's great. So we've got spinach. I've got some mushrooms that I've minced up, and let me tell you why. This is a technique. This is a highly skilled technique that's called the sneak attack. Okay, it's called the sneak attack because what we do is as we're transitioning to putting less food in our body, instead of using a whole pound of ground turkey, I took a half a pound of ground turkey. And you'll see when I cook, I'm going to mix the turkey with the mushrooms. Mushrooms have what we call an umami flavor, which means meaty. And so it kind of gives the taste and the texture of meat. So we're able to use half the meat because we're going to mince it with minced mushrooms. I've got some onions, of course, and let me turn this around for you. I've got some zucchini and squash because it's fall. And so I just love fall season because the zucchini and the squash looks beautiful. And then I've made my own homemade marinara sauce. Now, homemade marinara sauce is very simple to make. You basically stew tomatoes, you add herbs, you add spices. I've added lots of garlic and onions to mine, and you have to kind of cut your sauce with something sweet. So I sweeten my sauce with carrots and with a little honey. Those are our ingredients. You guys got them all? Got them? Okay. Now I'm going to move you over to my stove so we can get cooking, okay? I've got you over here on my stove with my favorite cast iron skillet. This was like my most favorite wedding gift ever. I'm going to let that get a little bit more hot. And we're going to move everything over. All right, so our pan is nice and hot. I love cooking with a cast iron skillet because number one, it's huge. Number two, it can stand really high heat. So if you wanted to cook something on the stove and then finish it in the oven, you can do that in your cast iron skillet. Okay, I always cook with olive oil. Olive oil is full of our healthy fats. That's our moofas and our poofas. That's what's gonna be great for our brain health. It's gonna be great for our heart health and all that, okay? So I've got a very hot skillet. I've got some olive oil. I'm just gonna add my onions. I also believe that food should be quick. I believe that we should not be spending, you know, hours cooking. Like, I'm busy. I know you guys are busy. We don't have time for cooking for hours and hours. So I'm just going to let these get a little bit translucent. Make sure you guys can see good. Just put the light in for you. Let's see if it looks okay. I'll try to keep it on. All right. So another thing that you could do at this step is you could add in some fresh minced garlic. But honestly, I think I put like 6 cloves of garlic in my sauce. So I'm not going to put any here because it's just, we don't want to overwhelm the people too much. Don't want to overwhelm the people too much. Okay. Now I've got my ground turkey. I'm going to throw that in here. Break it up a little bit. You can use ground chicken. I just prefer to stay away from the red meat. Red meat can be inflammatory. It can increase our cholesterol. So I try to stick with lean meats if I am going to include meat. You know, I'm the type of person that I don't really have to have meat. It's not a big deal to me, but my husband, you know, really likes it. So I try to compromise. I'm gonna let that brown a little bit. Now, the thing about using turkey and chicken, as you guys know, if you've ever cooked with it, is it's lean, right? So it's not gonna make a lot of grease like it would if you were eating like ground beef. Okay, so we're just gonna break it up. It's already smelling good. That's when you know you got a winner. This is gonna be such a quick, easy dish, you guys. I've already cooked my noodles. Those bonza noodles are very filling, again, because it's like having a big thing of beans. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in my mushrooms, and then I'm gonna season that. So here are my minced mushrooms. These are our minced mushrooms. And I'm just gonna add a tad more oil, again, you guys, because our meat doesn't make a lot of oil, and we just don't want anything to stick. I'm gonna use some coarse sea salt and black pepper. I prefer coarse seasonings because they give great texture. We're gonna keep it simple. A little salt, a little coarse black pepper. I wish you guys were here and you could smell it. I wish you were here and you could smell it. But you'll smell it in your own kitchen. I'm gonna keep it simple, and then I'm gonna just add a little bit of garlic powder. Make sure it's just pure garlic powder, not garlic salt. We don't need any extra salt in our food. I always ask my patients to cook your food. That's the best place you can start, because only when you cook your own food can you really control what's in it. You can't control how much sugar, you can't control how much salt is in your food when you're buying it all out. So my goal first, before I'm asking my patients to cook and eat a certain way, is I just want them to cook. I just want them to start making their own food. And if you think about it, if we don't cook, our kids aren't going to learn how to cook, and then we set them up for a life of fast food, and we don't want that. All right, this is getting nice and brown. This is looking great, smelling great. So this is almost done. Once this is all brown, I'm going to go ahead and then add the rest of my veggies, and then we can add our sauce, and we'll be done with our veggie sauce, and then we add the noodles, and we're done. So easy, right? I'm going to give you guys a different angle so you can just get another view here. Let me give you another view here. So it's looking great. Alrighty. Okay, my meat is all nice and brown, and I've got it mixed well with my mushrooms. Your goal is to really cut your mushrooms as fine as possible because, again, we're using our highly scientific sneak attack method, and so we want them to really blend well with the meat. Okay? And if you're someone that's like, meat is not a big deal to me, then you can do it completely vegetarian style, and that's great too. All right, I'm just going to add in my zucchini here. Zucchini, I think, and kale are my favorite fall vegetables. Zucchini and kale. The goal is always to have at least 4 different colors. At least 4 different colors in your food. That's how we ensure that we're getting a diverse nutrient profile, is we have at least 4 different colors. Okay, so that's enough there. I'm just gonna stir that around. Let those cook down some. Now I like my vegetables to still have a crunch. I want my vegetables to still feel and taste like vegetables. So, you know, I'm gonna cook them and get them nice and soft, but I don't want my stuff soggy. So we'll let that cook down a little bit. And then the only thing left is to add our sauce, and then we'll add our spinach, because you guys know spinach cooks down so quickly. So another thing, you guys, I told you that I, you know, made my own sauce. That's something that's pretty simple to do. And what's great about making your own sauce is you avoid all the excess sugar. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at a jar of sauce. Sauce has about up to sometimes 8 grams of sugar per quarter cup. And so who's thinking about sugar when you eat marinara sauce? I know I'm not. I think about sugar when I eat things like cake and pasta and treats, and not my sauce. Not my sauce. So let's make our own sauce and we don't have to worry about that. All right, we're gonna just let these zucchinis and squash cook down a little bit further. This is already looking great. Are you guys hungry yet? It is lunchtime, huh? So many of our diseases, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, you know, some autoimmune conditions, even some cancers are all related to the food that we put in our body. And so that's why it's important that we learn about food. It's important that we think about our food with regards to our health status and being healthy. And when you change kind of how you think about food, I think about food as it's supposed to add value to my life. So I only want to put things in my body that are adding value. All right. I promised them that I would stay on time, and that is what I'm going to do. So these green ones take a little bit longer, I feel like, sometimes than the yellow. So we're just going to let that simmer a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pour my sauce. All right, this is looking great, right? You can see all these wonderful colors. You guys, I told you that I sweetened my sauce with carrots, so you can see some sliced carrots in here. This is looking just delightful. I'm gonna go ahead and add my spinach, and that'll cook down. You could also do kale if you wanted. I just always keep a thing of spinach in my refrigerator. Always have spinach in the refrigerator. So we just kind of move it to the bottom of the skillet, and then that'll cook down. And then literally, you guys, that's it. We'll taste our sauce and make sure it doesn't need any extra seasonings. But I seasoned the sauce so well, so I'm anticipating it'll be just perfect. And then we add our noodles, and we're done. And this was literally, what, maybe 20 minutes? Maybe 20 minutes. I think the thing that took me the longest is just washing and cutting all the veggies. I think that's what took the longest. All right. Fun fact about me, my favorite kitchen gadget currently is my air fryer. I use that thing probably 4 to 5 days out of the week. I put fish in it. I put potatoes in there. I made kale chips the other day in there. I put everything in it. Grilled cheese sandwiches, everything. All right, so you see how that spinach is just cooking down? Spinach is one of those vegetables that will surprise you. You think you have so much, and then you cook it down, and then you're like, where'd all the spinach go? Because it cooks down so much. But this is smelling so good. You know you have a good pasta sauce when you're just willing to eat the sauce and you don't even like care if you have noodles, because this by itself looks amazing. All right, I'm gonna grab a little fork so I can taste it and make sure we have everything we need in it. Let's see. Have to taste. Wonderful. All right, I've got my noodles. I'm gonna turn that heat down so that it doesn't splatter. That's it, you guys. How easy was that? Your family will love this. This is a good dish to like make and prep for the week. This is a dish that would freeze well, all that. And because it's a lentil or chickpea noodles, it's very, very filling. And then you guys saw the stuff that's in the sauce. So I make something like this usually during Christmas time. This will be one of our like side dishes, main dishes, especially for my vegetarians. We have some vegetarians in our family, and so I'll make this without the meat. Because I always feel like sometimes the vegetarians get like iceberg lettuce, right? They don't get like a real thing. So I always like them to have a substantial dish. All right, let me give you another view, and then I'll be ready to take your questions. What do you guys think? Is it beautiful or is it beautiful?
It is beautiful. I'm doing the vegetarian version.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so that was it, and that's easy. We have a like high fiber, high protein, you know, very nutritious. We've got probably, I don't know how many different vitamins in here that we've got covered, but it's a winner.
Very much so. I was going to read off some of the questions if you're ready, Dr. Powell.
Yes, I am.
Sure. Thanks everyone for watching, and thank you so much for that really quick and easy recipe. The first question we have here is, what type of mushroom, what is a substitute pan for cast iron? So what type of mushrooms do you recommend?
Okay,
first?
so I like portobello. Those are just my favorite, so I buy the baby ones. But really, honestly, you can use whatever mushrooms. You can really buy whatever mushrooms are on sale. Portobello also happened to be on sale this morning when I went to Publix. So, and you can use any pan, any non-stick pan. Just make sure it's big enough and deep enough because there's a lot of stuff in there.
Sure, great. And so another question here is, what stores carry the Bonza brand noodles?
Everyone, you guys would be surprised. So I'm in Atlanta, but I'm from Michigan. So I can tell you between those two states, we have them at Kroger, we have them at Publix, we have them at Walmart, we have them at Meijer, we have them at Target, Whole Foods, Sprouts. I mean, I've basically seen them everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. And someone asked, can they get a copy of the recipe? We'll have
yeah, you just heard it. Did you write it down? You guys can also visit my my website, drlaurenpowell.com, www.drlaurenpowell.com, and like I have stuff on my website that you can download.
Great. And so we have one here. What can you use besides mushrooms if you don't really like them?
You can use tofu if you're trying to do something that's meatless. It has like a meaty flavor though. You can use like tofu crumbles. I've used that before.
Oh, I never thought of that either. Then also, can you freeze it? And if you do, how long will it last in the freezer?
Let me turn my oven off because I hear it bubbling.
No worries.
You can freeze it. I tend to, so if I was just going to keep it in the refrigerator, I tend to not keep anything in my refrigerator past 5 to 7 days, especially when everything is fresh, because there's no preservatives. If I was going to freeze it, you know, most soups and things you can freeze for a little while. I would say anything past a month or so. You just have, there's no preservatives, right? Like if you're making your own sauce, there's no preservatives. So, you know, I would think if you make it, freeze it, I would try to eat it within a month or so.
Okay, great. And then as for the recipe for the sauce, would they find that on your site?
No, my secret sauce is not on the site.
Okay, it's a secret sauce. Okay,
Secret sauce.
great. So here's another question. I was once told turkey leads to fatigue and is not a great substitute for meat.
That is false.
Okay.
Turkey does have a, I forget what the substance in it. Turkey does have a substance in it that can cause some people to be tired, but that's like in excessive amounts. And that's the joke that we have that, you know, on Thanksgiving, everybody eats and falls asleep. But I can tell you that turkey. We eat more turkey than we do chicken in my house, and we're not falling asleep.
I hear you. And then we have another question here. What suggestions do you have for sugar cravings? Do you have a YouTube channel? That was the other question.
I do have a YouTube channel, Dr. Lauren Powell. I do more stuff probably on Instagram than YouTube, so I would check out Instagram as well. I have an Instagram page called The Culinary Doctor. So that's the THE Culinary, CULINARY, Doctor, DOCTOR. The Culinary Doctor on Instagram, and that's all food. It's all food, all recipes, and all health tips.
And then also your Facebook page.
Yep, Dr. Lauren Powell. That's just
Great.
Dr. DRLE, Lauren, my name.
Okay, another question here. Do you stew your own homegrown tomatoes, or
I'm using canned tomatoes. I would love, my mom actually has access to fresh tomatoes and she stews her own. But yeah, I'm using canned, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but I'm using canned.
Okay, great. And then let's see, do you have any upcoming TV appearances?
None that I know of. You know, everything got kind of weird with COVID. But I'm doing like a lot of virtual conferences and summits like this. I did a thing on nutrition and fibroids 2 days ago with Rolling Out Magazine. And so I know that's out. So I'm doing just a lot of virtual stuff like this.
Okay, and I think that's all we have. And I want to thank everyone for joining us and to remind you that Dr. Lauren Powell's session will be up on our site for 30 days. All you have to do is log in on Monday, share it with others as well. They can register and come in and visit Dr. Lauren Powell's session, as well as all the other sessions that we have going today, the exhibit hall, and you'll also be able to download materials from whether it be from a booth or our network and chat room. Please tune in for our next session. And thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Lauren. We really appreciate it. And I'm getting so hungry, I need to have lunch now. Take care,
Thank you. You guys have an amazing Saturday.
Sessions.
Bye.
Bye-bye.